Principles. This is Practical Prince. We're doing Talking Tarot. And yeah, so drop in your questions. We'll do readings as much as we can. And we'll see how many we can fit in. Let me just finish setting up our camera. And that's looking good this time. Okay, awesome. All right. Go ahead and shuffle decks. Hope you're doing well. Having a good Friday. Hey, Amna. How's it going? Pretty good. My day just started, so hasn't had much opportunity to be bad or good yet. But so far, we seem to be on a good track. Okay. Okay. I guess my only concern is that, well, I don't remember all the details of how the reading went. But we need to give some respect to how the reading comes out. So I don't know if this is asking the same sort of stuff from last time, in which case I'm not sure we'll get as certain of an answer. Or if we do, well, yeah, it could be wrong. So I guess, do you feel it's safe to proceed asking about that? Okay. But you ended up rejecting it, which is fine, because with 2 yes and a no, that means yeah, but it'll take time. So I don't know if he needed to develop some more or something like that. Okay. Okay. I guess it sounds like we're not covering the exact same stuff, so I think that should be fine. This is going to be Destiny Day. Yeah. Okay. Let me highlight your question. There we go. Okay. There we go. Just thinking of how it'll come out. I could see it coming out either way. Intentions and feelings, like those are related and they tend to come out together. And we might get the proposal again. Or we could get some sort of like yes, no on the proposal with details on, well, the intention. So don't know which way, but we'll find out. Okay. Let me go ahead and focus on that. Okay. Do we have more? Repair. Okay. And then do we have more? Let me slide these. Okay. So we got a few cards. So this is an influence in his life. This is his intentions towards you. And then this is feelings towards you. This is a tempered pair. So the primary moderated by the second one behind it. Two of Cups. It's just Amna right now, so if you want to ask a question, go ahead. Drop it in. Seven of Swords over there. What did we have here? Five of Pentacles. Okay. And then is this the Queen? Yeah, Queen of Swords. Tempering that. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to read the Two of Cups. That could either be pushing for something, pushing him for marriage, or him wanting to, um, well, seek that out himself. Something to that effect. With the Five of Pentacles, I mean, it's not really that great. This is usually your financial rock bottom card. So, um, let me briefly go over that guy just in case there's something there. Seven of Swords is betrayal, deception. So I don't know if, yeah, he's trying to understand or get back. He feels hurt by this. So maybe he thought he was a really good match. Let's see. This was tempered by the Queen of Swords. Oh, sorry. I'm not showing the cards anymore. um, yeah, he really just does not understand it. Because as far as he can tell, the dots were lining up. Um, everything was in place. So, yeah, he feels a bit betrayed by that. So, yeah, I don't know. We need to dig into the Two of Cups. Let me check on the Five of Pentacles real fast. We can pull this up. And yeah, P-Dragon. Oh no, not that. For Gods So Loved. If you want to just add your question in the comments, we can do you afterwards. Five of Pentacles. This card guides you through conflict or well-being. This card asks that you check your beliefs and values by shifting your lack of mentality to one of health and abundance. This card directs you towards spiritual empowerment to overcome any hardship. The positive aspect is that you will find support from others in a similar position. Sometimes this card comes up to show a certain fear where there is no reason to be fearful. This card also reflects certain feelings of sadness due to a loss of someone close. Have faith that you will discover a resource that will help you see a way forward. Yeah, so I mean, sort of echoing the Seven of Swords, really. But yeah, this hurt him, and well, he's dealing with that. So nothing bad on his. Well, I mean, he's struggling with the rejection, basically. Um, and he wants to sort that out. So I mean, as far as asking after, he's trying to get some closure. But yeah, nothing malicious or bad. So um probably in some way or other. I mean, if he is a good guy and knows his value, then getting rejected, yeah, that can hurt. And so he wants to understand what he could have done better, what was wrong, stuff like that. Um, he doesn't necessarily think himself perfect. Um, the Queen of Swords has that element, but that didn't. Yeah, that wasn't really the issue behind that. That wasn't the meaning that came through. So, um, part of it is, yeah, just dealing with the rejection and given the intellectual aspect, trying to do better, I think. So, that we didn't really get. So, let's see if we can get that answer. Um, I think we know about the 2 yeses and no. It'll take time. So keeping that in mind. Do we have it? No. Okay. No problem. Let's get this over there. Down with that, up with this. So we got 2 cards. This one has the lead. So I don't know if that's just more emphasis or what. Page of Swords. I mean, the notes there are contracts and information, so that seems favorable. And then 9 of Wands, defense and strength. So, I mean, the Page of Swords seems promising. Let me get a double check the 9 of Wands. So I want to say that's your pushing to the finish line. You are in a strong position. You have fought long and hard to get where you are. So yeah, this makes sense. After he's worked through this rejection, got whatever closure he needs, he can develop his position, as this says it, and then present another offer. So yeah, so I mean, still in harmony with the 2 yeses and no from previously. And if anything, it'll be a more favorable proposal when he gets around to that. So hope that was helpful, Amna. Yeah. I mean, we already knew that he was a yes, but will take time. So, I mean, that's, in my mind, that's a given. Okay. No problem. For God So Love seemed to have dropped off, but we have. Okay. Cinderella. Hey, Lavina. Doing well. What's coming towards me in love? Oh, and thanks for subscribing. Let me drop that. Right now, it's just Cinderella, so you would be next. And of course, the answer is yes. You can be added to the list. Okay. Just one more. What's coming towards me in love? Okay. Let's see what we can get. I might have to fix that placement, but we've got cards there. Do we have more? Okay. Okay. Further. Is also okay. Is that all of them? Let me check. All right. Well, so this is the relevant stuff. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and drop your question in. We're doing Cinderella now and then Lavina, but then, yeah, you would be third on the list right now. Let's see. Turn close together. Okay. Okay. So those two run close together, then okay, farther future. And that's what we'll okay. Okay. There's the there it is. Okay. So a few cards. These are coming up and they're running close together. Um, so probably two different people, and they're just coming up around the same time in your life. Farther out, we have somewhat diverging paths. And then down here, we have the ideal that, whether intentionally or not, you're working towards the aspect of the partner you want to be, that you want to incorporate. So we've got Two of Cups coming with Five of Wands. So, I mean, this one very much on unity and relationships. This one, there's more communication, I guess. This person would be a bit more of an intellectual. They like the talk, the debate, in a sense. Um, so, yeah, depending on your temperament, that might be okay. Farther in the future, we've got Nine of Pentacles, which, I mean, that's pretty good. The notes there are comfort and prosperity. So, I mean, they're well to do. Whether or not they're the right choice. Yeah. And then your other option will be the Six of Wands. And that one, the notes are victory and good news. Let me see if I can read up on that a little more to get a better feel. And then I'll skim over these. I don't know that there's much more to learn from those, but. And then as far as the ideal, we've got King of Wands, inspiring and worldly. And we'll go through that one because that's ultimately what you're working on or working towards or being directed towards, depending on how actively you're involved in that. But yeah, let's skim the Two of Cups, Five of Wands. Union, harmony, partnership, peace, and love. Auspicious for a creative partnership as well. Is a card of reconciliation and ongoing negotiations which will be resolved in your favor. Enjoy the deep love that is coming your way in all aspects of your life. You deserve it. So, yeah, I mean, this person is just very committed towards you. Committed might be the wrong word. They have a deep love for you, whether that means it's right to pursue a relationship. Yeah, that's something you'll find out as you work through that relationship with them. And then we've also got Five of Wands. Represents, well, to start with, a competition, but that's not really what this person's going to be like. I mean, it might feel like it, but what stood out was the debate part. And that is where, conversely, the Five of Wands could also mean several people coming together in a concentrated effort. Stand in your truth and allow the chaos to calm. This will move you towards victory. So it's, yeah, it's going to be that intellectual debate back and forth, which you may enjoy, you may not. I don't know your temperament in that regard. Hey, Fuse. Um, the Nine of Pentacles is pretty self-explanatory. Let me get to the... Oh, I haven't been showing that. My bad. Well, we've been talking through it. Six of Wands. well-deserved triumph if you've been struggling recently. It can also reveal something. This is a time to enjoy, so you must share your accomplishments with others. In a personal relationship, this card indicates that declared feelings are well received. In the traditional meaning, this card signifies good news in any life aspect. Celebrate the victory that came about through your resilience. So, interesting. I don't know if this is someone that you work for and sort of win over. Um, but yeah, and ignore the picture because it's actually showing the Nine of Wands. Made a minor mistake. But then let's get into the King of Wands. Hated mirror. Because this is the ideal you're working towards incorporating. Father archetype who brings about structure, authority, and order. When this comes up, a powerful outcome is about to be revealed. You have mastery over your passions. Um, well-traveled person, but this is you or the person you're working towards. So I guess this card can represent a person or people in your life who has traveled the world and experienced many cultures. That doesn't literally require you to travel, although that may be true in your case. This person is just experienced, is the main gist of that part. A person of great wisdom, high standards, and great authority. This may also be a time to express yourself and your ideas. They will be well received. You are attracting the right people in your life. Stay on your spiritual journey, speak your truth, and balance this with the material world. So, I mean, the standards, knowing your worth and what you're expecting from your partner, and then just wisdom, which partly will come from experience. Those are the things that we're going to be getting out of this for the most part. Your structure, authority, order, I mean, that'll vary from person to person, and that might develop a bit, but that's probably not going to be the big thing here. So, hope that was helpful, Cinderella, preparing you for what's to come. Okay, we had a lot of people suddenly hop on. So let me go over who we've got, and I'll put together a list. So we've got right now Lavina. Give me 1 second. Let me in so that I can write. Okay. Lavina. And following Lavina, we've got Xiao Jing 96. Just keep me straight. We've got Lama 20. Right. Yeah. And I can go back and find your question, so you don't need to worry too much about that. And then we've got Fuse and Dead Mirror. I haven't seen your questions yet, but I'll go ahead and mark you down in case you are interested. Make sure you get your spot. Okay. So, and then, yeah, if you just want to try timing it, we can do your reading whether or not you're here, and you can just watch it on the video afterwards if that's convenient. I do need the question, of course, if I'm going to do that. But yeah, so just to go over the order, Lavina now, Zhao Jing after, Lama, Fuse, and then Dead Mirror. And So Lavina's question, well, let me just read. There's sort of two, or revisions, basically. Do I do business alongside with job? Any good business options you can give? And will I do good? Should I do business now or post-marriage? Basically, career reading. If job and business can be managed well, and what business and when, and how will it be? Um, um, so the focus is, well, starting your own side business, right, Lavina? And the question is, well, what details can we get about that? What are the options? How will you do? When would be a good time? Okay. Hey, Dia. There's a few people on the list right now, but let me go ahead and add you. And then this is business. So are we using the others? Nope, we're still using Destiny. Okay. This is the Destiny deck, so sorry if that just seems a bit out of context. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see. So it just takes me a while to go through the cards and sense which ones are relevant, and then some time to place them and understand what their purpose in the spread is. So if I'm quiet, and this is more FYI for the any new people, don't be too alarmed. I'm probably not frozen. I'm just trying to focus. Good morning. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and we've been doing good on time, so we've got a bit of a list now, but we should be able to get to it. Is it both of them? Thanks. Let's see. Okay. Do we have any more? Hey, Vijay. Doing well. How are you? try. I don't know that I've had anybody ask me on that before. Gosh. Yep, I try to be. Is it both of them again? Definitely that. Or does that just have some secondary? Okay. Okay. Let me check. I think we might have found them all. Yeah, I think we're good. So let me organize this. Where are our... Okay. These are the different aspects of how. So would this be the when? They want it on the same level. Okay. All right. Yeah, when we give me some time. I actually showed them off on Wednesday. If you wanted to just go take a look at them there. So far. Sort of. It used to be. I'll do something like that every now and then I tend to leave it out of lane. Or sorry, leave it alone. So it's good for refocusing. Hey, Hope. Okay, so I need to add Dragon Empress, Vajera, Hope. And yeah, just a heads up, we've got quite the line right now. So we've got Lavina and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, yeah, 5. And then, gosh, Dragon Empress, then Vajera. Right? Okay, yeah. So if you want to bounce and come back later, just want to be respectful of your time. So giving you the heads up. But yeah, as long as I've got the question, we can do it. And we've always got the video later, if that's more convenient. All good. So this pair is a pair of options from what I can tell, of different aspects, different businesses you could be looking at. These are details on the how, and then these, gosh, like there's a primary, secondary, but it's not tempered. They're still distinct cards for whatever reason. And this is speaking to the win. So I don't know if there's a better time and then second time, but that's roughly what's going on there. So let's start flipping. We've got the world, and then 5 of cups, over here we've got the Hanged Man, Judgment, a lot of major arcana, and Death. And then over here we've got the Chariot, and then the secondary King of Cups. So I mean, Chariot, that's do it as soon as you want, basically. Put your mind to it and you can make it happen. But let's get back to these. I mean, Five of Cups, you're dealing with grief in some sense. The world is for wholeness, so I don't know if this is. Yeah. Let me read up on the world. For this one, I mean, people are in need, and you're comforting, counseling, something to that effect. And you're being there for them to try and help them through it. These are speaking to the how, the Hanged Man and Death, very similar. So change in perspective. This one, transformation more so. I mean, the change in perspective usually comes with that, but out with the old and in with the new sort of thing. So, and then Judgment, I mean, even that, there's the rebirth, letting go. I don't want to say revitalize or renewed, because that's sort of got the impression that, well, you're still the same old person, you're just okay with it, I think. I mean, yeah, it's more similar to Death in the transformative aspect. But I mean, with the letting go, that probably resonates with the Five of Cups and sorrow. So, and then, yeah, again, the Chariot, do it as soon as you want, basically. You drive that. You ride that horse, you drive that car. King of Cups, I'll have to double check on to get a sense of what his timing is. So, yeah, let me check on the world and especially the King of Cups. And let me set this down so that I have my arm back. There we go. The world. And there's oh, we want something else. There it is. Okay, the final card in the Major Arcana, which represents the end of a journey. This card is about completion, success, and fulfillment. This card is one of the most welcome cards in a reading. Your projects pay off, your hard work is rewarded, and a phase is coming to an end in a positive way. When the world shows up in your reading, you are reminded that you are exactly where the universe has intended for you to be on your path. The message that is being given is that a milestone or an important goal has been achieved. A cycle has come to a rewarding conclusion. Feel the joy as a new journey is awaiting you. The world is in continuous motion. Enjoy your success. So yeah, and that makes a lot of sense given the Hanged Man, Death, and Judgment. I mean, they've reached the close of a chapter. And they're, well, on to the next. I don't know if this is necessarily like people in old age coming to terms with that and then moving on. Because, I mean, this could technically happen anywhere in life. So as far as the quality of the person, I don't know how you would attract them. No, and it's going to be a while, Fajera, so go ahead and take your time. I mean, Five of Cups with sorrow, I mean, whether that's the death of a loved one or a loss of some sort, like I feel like that's fairly easy to identify. But with the world, like I don't know how you necessarily pick up on someone who has reached the end of a chapter in their life, other than that they're perhaps looking for the next thing and not sure what to do. So, yeah. And then obviously, w- you you've got your half of this puzzle. So whatever resonates and whatever connects and calls to you, that'll um, help you sort it out. But then, yeah, we've got the Hanged Man, Death Judgment. Let me get back to King of Cups for that other timing. Has mastered his emotions and leads with love. Father archetype of being structure and authority. A person who provides unconditionally for his family. Excuse me. In his work, he follows his intuition. In friendships, he is sociable and, like his counterpart, is sensitive and chooses his friends wisely. They have a wide circle, but only a few confidants. This card shows up to indicate the ideal love who is unafraid of intimacy. In a case where a decision must be made, if you are indecisive, always follow your heart. Interesting. Because I mean, with the Chariot, that's a very active card. That the go-getter, um, so to speak. With the King of Cups, you don't necessarily know the path. It sort of just happens naturally, assuming that you're following your heart, your intuition, and letting that guide you. So obviously, one of these is more directly in your control, but yeah. So I don't know the timing for the King of Cups, but that is the path to get to that option, I suppose. Any questions, Lavina? I think we've touched on everything. Oh yeah, we didn't necessarily get balance with job. Okay. If that's connecting, that's great. As far as when, I mean, the Chariot, if that's the timing that you go with, I don't necessarily know which option is speaking with which timing. So, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with pursuing that now. So, as far as the before marriage or post marriage, that doesn't seem to be an issue either way. As far as will it be managed well with job? Yeah, we just didn't get an answer on that front. I mean, based off of readings we got previously for you, it should be fine, or it should take over and replace your job. But yeah, we don't necessarily know which one. Well, yeah, I mean, Five of Cups and the World, I mean, there's some sort of closure, whether that's the loss of someone and the end of that chapter, or they've reached the end of some cycle, end of some chapter. So, I mean, this definitely isn't like academic counseling, for example. Um, and yeah, I don't know if this is just you selecting, saying you specialize in that. Because yeah, in my mind, therapy is fairly open range. So I don't know that there's a specific thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. And that was only one option. There's obviously the close of chapters where people are trying to adjust and figure out the next thing. Um, so I don't know if this would be like an independent thing, um, or, well, a brand of counseling that you promote. Um, yeah, yeah, because I mean, I'm not familiar with a particular counseling that matches this. If I'm not opposed to one existing. I'm just not aware of one. So it may or may not already exist. Well, and yeah, yeah. I'm not so sure on the Reiki healing. I mean, it'll probably have its place, but that doesn't seem to be the focus with these. So, okay. Because, yeah, I don't think I can get anything more specific. Okay. No problem. Let's go ahead and get back. Xiao Jing. It feels like it's been a while, but it is now your turn. Let's find you. What does JH feel about me? Okay. That's just a fairly light touch. Okay. Oh, there we go. So this is the main one. This is going to capture the feelings pretty well. There's a touch of this. So well, we'll get there. So 9 of Wands. And then Hanged Man. So, I mean, 9 of Wands speaks pretty positively about the strength of their feelings. So, the Hanged Man. Yeah, I think spiritual might be strong, but there's sort of a sense of awe, I think, that might be coming from that. And again, that was just a touch there. Let me set this down. See if I can get anything more specific from the 9. That's the big one. And their feelings. Indicate that you are in a strong position. There's a balance between fear mindset. This card is one of great resilience and strength. Use these attributes with a direct willingness to take risks and know that the battle is almost over. Yeah. So they just feel really strongly, and it has been persistent. So whether that's for the better or the worse, that's for you to decide, I guess. That's your opinion of them. But yeah, then there's the touch of the Hanged Man, and that's really just a slight sense of awe. So sorry, which one? The 9 of Wands is they have strong feelings for you, and that it's enduring. It's persistent, or at least it has been. And then, like I said, the Hanged Man, that's just a light touch of awe. Was that clear? Or okay. Just wanted to make sure we got that. And now, I guess I can shuffle those after finding out who. Okay, we can drop that. Lama 20. Tenzin. Will I get first rank in my second term exam with 90 above percentage? No problem. Sorry, it maybe took a little longer than we expected to get to it. Get first rank. I mean, this is interesting, just in that there's 2 conditions that need to be met. Is this the destination? We might be using Lost Forest, actually. So let me go ahead and check it out. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Twinkle. We've got quite the list today. I can add you if you want, but I'm not sure we'll have time. Just letting you know. And of course, you can even come back if that works for your schedule, but just want to be clear on that. So, I mean, with Lama's question, like, if you're first place, but you got an 89%, like, that's still no good. So I don't know if we might be needlessly negative, perhaps. But, okay. But, yeah, we'll see. just to make sure. Okay. We got a yes/no spread, but we also got some extra information. So let me go ahead and highlight that briefly, but I mean, we'll go through the cards anyways. So, and we want this one to be the big one. Okay. So our 3 yes/no cards, the combination is going to give us the answer. This one has extra information. It really has the information as far as I can tell. It stands out. This one also has information. It's just a standalone, but that seems to have the bigger part. So 6 of Skies, the Empress, and 3 of Oceans. So I want to say yes, and then Judgment down there. Okay. And then, so 6 of Skies would be, well, 6 of Swords. That's a no. The Empress, that's a yes. But then the 3 of Oceans would be 3 of Cups, and that's a yes too. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, normally that would be yes, but it may take time to come about. Which, yeah. I mean, in this particular context, for this particular question, I'm not sure it makes a ton of sense, but let me read the 3 of Oceans and then Judgment. So, sadly, this is going to be a paper guide, but it's okay. Celebration, friendship, collaborations. So, I mean, studying, working with others. I wonder if that means you're sharing first rank. Could be. I mean, especially with this, if you're basically doing study groups with others and you guys get to the same level, then it would make sense if you guys got the same sort of score. So, but that was the big one. You should probably be studying with others, and then Judgment, Absolution, Rebirth, Crossroads. So, yeah, and we saw Judgment earlier. There's the element of, well, rebirth, out with the old, in with the new. So I think you'll probably have a better understanding of that than, well, than I can speak to off the cuff. So we'll let you follow up on that if you need some sort of elaboration, but I think you'll know what that's speaking to. Okay. So that was Llama. And now we're finally to Fuse, although I'm not sure I saw Fuse's question. Yeah, so Fuse, if you're still on, same with Dead Mirror. If you want to drop your question in, we can do it. Otherwise, let me find. Who's next? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it seems like we're just going to be skipping ahead. Let me shuffle this a little while I read. I like a guy, Robbie. Will he accept my proposal if I confess him my feelings for him? Okay. probably do less forest, but yeah, I think Destiny is the right one for this. It is sort of my love deck, so. Will he accept? Okay. All the way towards the bottom. Let me make sure. Well, we might not need that. I think there might be some clarification if we need it, but optional. So again, ended up with the 3-card spread for the yes, no. Magician is yes. The Hermit, I'll have to check. I want to say he's neutral. And then King of Cups. I don't know that I see that one much. Yeah, Hermit is neutral, but then King of Cups, yeah, he's a yes. So, yes, but it may take time. So I don't know if it's just something he hasn't considered for before. So you might catch him off guard, but then after working through it, right. Okay. Yeah. We'll see if we have time because, yeah, there are a lot of people. But speaking back to Dia, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be an immediate yes, so don't like have your hopes up for that. He'll definitely need time. You'll probably catch him off guard or something like that. But then after he contemplates it or something, yeah, it seems like he'll return the feelings. So, okay. Let's go ahead and set that down. And then Dragon Empress. Okay. Good morning. Well, I need a new love and when. really, if we can get a win, we know whether that's a yes or no, but let's see. Oh, oh. Okay. Do we have anything? Let me move that. Got this thing. Okay. So 4 cards. We did end up getting a yes, no. These 2 have information on the specific when, and this is going to help flesh that out. So those 3 are going to speak to our when. So we've got Page of Wands. I'll have to double check that. 2 of Swords. And then the Chariot. So the Chariot is going to be a yes. 2 of Swords. That's an exception. Okay. And then I'm curious, the Page of Wands. Okay, so that would have been a yes. There's a lot of exceptional ones, so gotta check those. But yeah, so the 2 of Swords is overriding and saying we don't know, really. So that's where we're at there. Our other card is... Ooh. Okay, yeah, we're still showing the Hanged Man. So let's see. Interesting. So, it's not really speaking to a time, more so to what needs to happen. The Two of Swords, there's some indecisiveness going on. But what needs to happen is a change in perspective. The Hanged Man. And I don't know when that's going to trigger. We've got the Chariot. So let me read up on that, see if I can get something more specific on that front. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to speak more to what happens or your role in it. Talks about your determination and sticking with the task in order to achieve victory. Signifies success and a major departure. You need determination and focus as you travel a new direction. A decision has been made, and now you experience the fruits of your hard work. Take control and navigate this new path as your horizons expand. This new direction may happen in any part of your life, from home to relationships to finances. Always know that you are an unstoppable force, especially when you move through life with a balance between your heart, your mind, and your spirit. Yeah, so, I mean, Two of Swords, I don't know what the indecision is. And like we got from the Chariot, this could be really any part of your life, whether it's a new job, a move. Yeah. But once you make that decision and follow through and travel down that path, we're going to get a change in perspective from the Hanged Man. And at that point, it would make sense to revisit this or ask about it, if it's still even a question then. Oh, good. So I don't know how much you caught. I'll just recap. Yes, no spread. The Two of Swords is overriding, saying, I don't know. These three are speaking to the win, sort of. The Two of Swords says that you're struggling with a decision of some sort or being indecisive, I suppose. Neutral isn't always the right state to be in. Once you make that decision, you need to follow through, go down that route, and eventually that's going to lead to a change in perspective. You're going to, well, see things differently. So, and then at that point, it would make sense to revisit this, but it sounds like we don't really know. Could be next week, could be a couple of years. And yeah, it could even be as part of this process of when, but yeah. This stuff is going to need to happen before we can get clearer answers. And that's not to say it won't happen in the meantime. But yeah, this needs to be sorted out first. So let me go ahead and set that down. Okay. Nari Mene. Let me just. Just did Dragon Empress. So we've got Vajera, then Hope, then Twinkle. Lavina had a question as well. And we're iffy on time. So I've added you to the list. If we have the time, we'll do that. But otherwise, we'll be streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay. Well, I mean, we basically knew your answer. It's just a matter of has it finished flushing out. So um, that should just be a simple yes, no. That shouldn't take much time. But I appreciate the consideration. Oh, but gosh, who was next? Vijera. But so, Naramine, I don't know if you want to plan on another stream just in case. If we do answer it, it'll be on this video. But it may be a bit before we answer. So let's find. Vijera. I mean, this is the original question, so we'll do what we can about that. And at the end of the stream, I'll go ahead and lay out the decks and maybe spread the cards a bit so that we can get a see of that. Obviously showed the decks, well, the boxes really, on Wednesday. But if you want to feel for the cards, I'll see if I can do that today. And then you also asked about job search. Well, it's still going, so good and bad. Not yet employed, but not yet hopeless. So okay. Let's put this one. Well, is this the one we're going to use? I think so. I would have chalked this up to a Cosmic question, but Destiny's taking it. So there was this, can I get a past life reading? There was also this follow-up or reading on my gifts. I guess just in my beliefs, I don't necessarily believe in like reincarnation per se, which is what I think most people are referring to when they're talking about past lives. I do believe in a pre-life experience, but hey, sweetheart. But yeah, if really what we're getting at, okay. So, but the Jarrett. So, gosh, the focus really might be the other one, where it's what gifts do I have that I've developed previously, disposed towards. So let's see. And yeah, so sweetheart, there's quite a few people. I'm not sure we'll have time today, but I'll add you to the list just in case. Sometimes they start going real fast, but we shall see. Do we have cards? Yes, okay. Do. Let me set some of these down. There's like a few that are connected somehow. I'll just need to find the partner. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the focus did end up being on gifts. So let me go ahead and highlight that instead and pop this up. So a tempered pair, the primary moderated by the second one behind it, and then, well, a pair. So like conjoined twins, basically. Four of Swords, rest and recovery are the notes there, tempered by Two of Wands. Partnership options. Interesting combination. And then over here, Ace of Cups, Love and Beginnings, a wand with the Chariot. Okay, I mean, this seems pretty indicative of energy would be the pure way of putting it. A drive sometimes, but yeah, really energy to push forward with things. This more so like emotional energy. Um, that's just abundant for you. This other one though, with the Four of Swords, that one, let me focus on that. Interesting. I mean, the sense I'm getting from it is that when you need to, you can take a break, step back, and well, as part of that, you'll see different ways of going about it. I mean, different options, um, alternatives. Whereas normally, I mean, if you're just pushing forward with all this energy, you might be blind to some of those options. But by taking a step back, um, you'll be able to see other routes you can take. And that's not necessarily, I mean, the energy that's pretty specific to you, but this, that's not just your situation. You could be stepping back and reflecting on something for work or a family matter. that affects other people as well. So as far as helping others, that might be the bigger one to leverage. Um, Not that an abundance of energy isn't going to be helpful. Um, but yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's that. Um, hey, Montana. Let me add you to the list real quick because we have a few people right now. And I am running a little, short on time. Although some people might have self-selected out. So I'm going to do Hope now. Twinkle, you're coming up. So I don't know that you've dropped your question yet. Um, let's see. Or actually, yeah, Hope now. Is that what I said? Yeah, Hope and then Twinkle. Okay. So Hope, if you have your question. Same with Twinkle, actually. I don't think either of you actually asked your questions. Let me go ahead and pop this for a bit while I'm sorting out who we can actually do. Let me stick some question marks here, I guess. And then Little Vino wants to do it next time with the past life, so we'll go ahead and pass there. Yeah, I guess if Hope and Twinkle might still be working on their question or putting it in, we can come back if we need to, but for now, Neri Mene. Sorry if I'm not saying it right, but looks like you get to go next. Okay. Okay. If there is marriage and when, which seems a little odd when you talk about them as a fiance, because at least in my culture, that means you're engaged. So you probably have an idea of when you're getting married, but we can do it anyways. Is there marriage? And if so, when? Let's see. Okay. I have to, in addition to sensing which cards are relevant, I need to sense their place and purpose. Yeah. Interesting. So we got a yes, no. This will speak to the marriage. But then they have extra information, whether that's speaking to Win or something else. I'm not exactly sure, but um, they have decreasing importance in clarifying. Um, well, let me go ahead and flip. Goddess Joya, that's unique to this deck, and that would be a yes. Judgment, I'll have to check on. Five of Pentacles. Interesting. Let me check real fast. I'm not sure that this is a yes. Let's see. Okay, so Judgment is a yes card. The Five of Pentacles is a no. So this combination, two yeses and a no, means yes, but will take a while to come about. So as far as timeline, interesting. So Goddess Joya, she's, well, a master manifester. You have the ability to make it happen. That's the gist of this card. So there's a certain effort, really, that you can put in to get the ball rolling. With Judgment, what is that going to speak to? I mean, there's the rebirth, but is it the letting go then? We just did, I think we just did yours, if I remember right. Yeah, we just did yours, so you can go back on the video to catch that. Gosh. I'm trying to remember yeah, just go back on the video. It'll have all the details. But we just did it. So but Narimene. Yeah, I mean, with this one, there's that letting go. With this one, there's a sense of rock bottom. And again, these are less and even less important. Okay. No problem. So I don't know if this is going to be hard for you in some way. Becoming that manifester. I don't know if maybe you're getting in your own way, but you might need to let go of some, well, preconceived notions, some norms for you in order to move on. And then I just don't know what role the Five of Pentacles is going to play, or if that's just, is that just off? Okay, so yeah, that one was negligible. Okay, so really we just have these two, this being the primary. You have the capability. So in as much as you want to make it happen, you can. And then, yeah, we've already talked about Judgment. So let me go ahead and set that aside. Yeah. I mean, Judgment could have been speaking to your partner or something to that effect, but it seems to be applying to you. So, yeah, okay. Let me pull up Sweetheart. I don't know that you asked your question. Um, I mean, you were nice enough to say hi, but I don't know that. I mean, if you're still on, go ahead and ask it. Otherwise, I think we're going to do Montana's question and then call that a day. And Montana, we don't have a specific question from you. Okay. um, I mean, it's fine. I can do a general reading. Usually I prefer specific questions because, well, you can get more specific answers, but sometimes people don't know. So general is sometimes the best way to put that. Let me highlight something in case you want to come back. Yeah, this will probably be a better one. We'll just highlight this in case you want to rewatch the video or something. And also to let other people know where we're at. We're probably not using Destiny Deck, so let me go ahead and put this away. So we're going to use the Lost Forest. It's perhaps my favorite deck. Okay. And yeah, we'll just see what we get. this way then. Is that a better fit? Okay. It ended up being laid out vertically, but going from bottom to top, we have a pair of cards, a tempered pair. So we've got the primary card on front, and then it's modified by the card behind it, the secondary card. And then we've got a card up here, and there's this somewhat upward progression. It's kind of wavy, but that's the sort of feel, the gist of it. So starting down here, 2 of earth, 3 of skies. Okay. And moving up, we've got 4 of earth, modified by the chariot. You've seen some of that today. And then up here, we've got 4 of oceans. So working on baby steps in a sense. Okay, let me go ahead and set this down. I've got a paper guide for this one. There it is. So we'll work through that. Yeah. So starting with the 2 of earth. Adaptability, prioritization, being on the go. And then this is paired with 3 of skies. Sorrow, grief, sudden hurt. So yeah, the 3 of skies I usually refer to as the reality check. It's normally the 3 of swords. But yeah, there's some pain associated with that, which isn't pleasant, but kind of wakes you up. Given the 2 of earth, the foxes with the adaptability and the prioritization, it seems like you'll be able to handle it. It might be rough, but well, it's one way to work through it. The being on the go has me a little worried that maybe you're suppressing it, that hurt, that pain, that grief, which wouldn't be healthy, but I mean, you're aware of it now, so and I don't, it's not a strong worry. That's just more of a personal note than anything. An FYI, because I don't see that. It doesn't feel like an issue in that regard. So that's sort of the state we're in now. Moving on, we've got the 4 of earth. Hoarding, scarcity, saving money. So others will depict a miser. In this case, we have a squirrel hoarding his nuts as far as the artwork goes. It's a lack of mentality, and miserly traits, which, I mean, they have their purpose. You're trying to protect yourself. But you might be overdoing it in that regard. Let's see what the chariot's effect on this is going to be. Action, control, willpower, success. So yeah, very controlling, which makes sense with that scarcity mindset and wanting to be, in control. You've got your pieces put together, ducks all in a row, and they better stay in a row, or yeah, that's the thinking. Whether or not this is wise, most people advise against it, but let's continue on to the Four of Oceans: contemplation, apathy, reevaluation. So, I mean, there's basically a bit of a disconnect, if not a sense of hate for the world, really. It gets directed at others somewhat, but um, everything's against you. It's that feeling. And so that's causing, well, you have a certain awareness of that. So you start thinking and, well, reevaluating. Because, I mean, once you're in that state, it's like, well, why am I even here? How did I even get to this? Is it even worth continuing? That sort of stuff. So that's how that happens. I almost feel like this is a chart of what's happened recently. Is that correct, Montana? I guess it could have taken time, but I mean, this very much feels like past stuff, apart from like the Four of Oceans, which is where we're probably at. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to do another reading because really we want a solution to this. And so, how to phrase that? I mean, we could try focusing on what lessons we're supposed to learn. That won't necessarily propel us forward. Okay. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm basically just going to ask for advice from the higher power, actions to take, next steps, that sort of thing. And yeah, we'll keep using this deck. Let me set this aside in case I need the space. No problem. Okay. Okay. Take care. Hey, Gnarly. Okay, we'll do Lavina. Sorry. Um, these are different actions you could take, and you'll probably need to take both at some point, but if you want to focus on one for now, that would be fine. This one stands on its own. This one is a tempered pair, like we saw earlier. So the primary modified, moderated by the second card. Page of Earth, the Devil, tempered by Queen of Fire. Okay. I'll have to double check on the Page of Earth. I mean, this is generally a very auspicious card, but as far as, well, yeah, let me go ahead and set this down. I might as well read them all. It's just the three. So starting with the Page of Earth. Manifestation, financial opportunities, developing skills. So really focusing on something that you want to make happen in a sense, whether that's a capacity or even just a goal. I mean, during the process of that, you'll develop in a way. But yeah, so that you can either pick something there and start chasing it, or focus on specific skills that you want, whatever comes easier to you. But that's a bit of self-development with the Devil, and it's not that bad. Shadow self, addictions, powerlessness. And in case you're not familiar with shadow self, that's, I mean, it's a Jungian concept, attributes of yourself that you've rejected, put away, suppressed, repressed, however you want to put it, that aren't necessarily bad. And, well, when properly incorporated, make you a more whole person, and in a sense, more capable. But right now, as it's speaking to shadow self, it is that stuff in the darkness that we've been putting there. But this is tempered by the Queen of Fire. Confidence, independence, determination. Yeah. So, I mean, this would be a more introspective work. But basically, it's going through and developing those qualities. In fact, let me just leave it here. Because yeah, it's going to be coming to terms with stuff and overcoming it in a sense so that you can take advantage of it. So, I mean, let me give examples. You'll hopefully be able to figure out what's relevant to you. But this is something that maybe you would work with a therapist to work through. Say when you were young, you, well, asserting something, asserting a right, asserting your power or something, you hurt someone. How bad doesn't matter, you perceived it as bad. And in response to that, you decide, I'm not going to exercise that strength again. And in a sense, you push that away, block it. We don't think through this explicitly at that age. It happens somewhat naturally. But with that locked away, like your ability to assert yourself and exercise that authority in a sense or power gets locked away too. And so you need to come to terms with, yeah, it's okay to express myself. It's okay to be strong. It's not a bad thing. It's a tool. And now that I'm wiser and more mature, I can learn how to handle that tool, just like you would learn how to handle a gun if and when you got one. Same sort of idea. And it'll take practice, it'll be scary. Um, but I mean, at a certain point, it's just owning it up. And in fact, it's very similar to the Page of Earth. It's something you would develop. Um, so whereas the Page of Earth develops a skill set, um, this would be developing character in a sense. So those are the two things. Nothing saying you can't do both. It's just sometimes easier to focus on one. Any questions, Montana? And if you need time to just reflect and go over it, that's fine. And of course, there's more sessions. I'll schedule next week after this. But we've got, in fact, let me go ahead and do that. Yeah, that's fine too. We've also got these sessions if it's going to be easier to work through. And yeah, before we sign off, someone asked about seeing my decks, so it's all good. I appreciate it. Let me put this wrong half of the box for now. Let's just do the quick deck demo in a sense. Let me lay these out. So just for fun. So this is the Lost Forest. We were just using that. We saw a fair bit of the Destiny deck today. And then this is Prisma Visions and this is Cosmo Visions. These are by James R. Eads. Looks like James Reads, except the R is an initial. This is by Lisa Santine, and she's actually doing another run of that. And she's got a couple other decks that she recently kickstarted. Hopefully I'll get some of those. And then this is The Lost Forest. I want to say this is Chelsea Santa Maria or Santa Maria, something like that. This is the first one I got. Let me go ahead and make some room. Or at least the first one I ordered. I think the Destiny deck actually showed up first. But if we want to look at the cards, this is my favorite for the artwork. Like, I mean, look at this fool going off into the forest. Not to say he's foolish. There's something to be said for getting out of your comfort zone. But like, it's just wonderful artwork. Really speaks to me. So don't know if we can, really enjoy that. So only so much space, but yeah. Okay, and let me set this down, clean this up, and then spread out some of the other cards. I guess, what kind of rules are you imagining? It's not stupid. If you don't know, you don't know. Because, like, I ordered my decks, like the Lost Forest and Destiny, before I ever planned on reading. That sort of just happened to fall into place. Let me spread these. So here we've got Destiny deck cards, and then this is the Cosmovisions, which we didn't really see today. This one uses like birds instead of swords. There's your 4 of birds, which would be 4 of swords. We've seen that earlier, compared to like the 3 of swords from Destiny. Some different styles. And then there's this version of the devil. I know we saw the Lost Forest earlier. I'm not familiar with that, whatever that reasoning is. Let me finish showing and I'll speak more directly to it. For example, here's Infinite Paths, and I want to say this is normally like the sun. So Cosma just uses very different names. It has a style that reminds me of Van Gogh, those artists like him. And now let me set this down. Yeah, I want to say I've heard about that gifting before, but I'm not familiar with what that superstition, I guess, is, or where that comes from. So I really just don't know how much weight that carries. I bought all of my decks, so as far as I know, there's no rule there. I mean, if it's tarot, like most, if not all, are going to take after the Rider Waite deck. That's sort of the canon. And then different creators like James, Chelsea, Lisa will portray it in their own versions in decks like these. So given that they come from the same canon, they'll generally have similar explanations in their guides. Stuff like that. Although I find that they'll sometimes have their nuances, so I still like to reference the guides. Okay. And then, so we still have the Cosma on the bottom, but then we've got the Prisma version. So these are the same creator, same author, same sort of style. You can see here and then up here on our Knight of Chalices. This one follows the conventional names. So like Knight of Chalices or Knight of Cups, stuff like that, as opposed to Ace of Birds or Life on Earth. So yeah, that's a little display on my cards. Any other questions, Montana? I don't know that there was. If there was anything else you wanted to speak to. And then I'll check your message, of course. not, we'll call that good. Okay, no problem. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. It's fun answering your questions, helping you out as best I can. We've had the schedule on the caption, but Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 1 p.m., 7 p.m., 7 a.m. respectively. That's all MST, so go ahead and convert to your time zone as appropriate. I'm going to set up those streams for next week right now. So if you give me a moment, you'll be able to have those events or whatever it is if you want to tune into that, set a notification or whatever. And otherwise, have a great Friday, have a great week, and until